And once you find your seated pose, let's take a few moments to move your body. And that might be swaying from side to side. It could be full circles or just forward folding. And just moving a little bit more. And then making your way back to a central space and taking a moment to reach your arms up, just allowing your palms to shine forward. And carefully take your arms out to the sides, and we'll sweep them together, forward and up. And maybe elevate your gaze. Interlacing your fingers, turn your hands inside out, stretching up overhead. And really see if you can find that elevation through the scapula. And maybe allowing your palms to reach back further. And then releasing your hands out, we'll reach just with our right hand up, placing the right palm on your left shoulder. And then bending your left elbow, we'll clasp the fingers and elevate the chin. Finding that generous expansion of your left lung. And then bringing your awareness fully to the right side of the body and expanding the right lung. And then releasing the arms back up and down to the sides. Reaching forward and up with your left palm, placing that on your right shoulder. As you bend your right elbow, cuff your fingers and elevate your chin. First reaching into the right lung, expanding there. And as you exhale and settle, reach fully into the left side. Taking 2 more breaths. And then reaching the arms back up. And exhale, release your hands out. From here, reaching forward and up. Interlace your fingers. Turn your hands inside out again. And reach your palms back as much as you can as you continue to elevate your chin. Taking the interlaced fingers behind your skull and then reaching up overhead. Turn your hands over and reach your hands underneath your chin. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, bringing the hands behind your skull. Keep your chin elevated. Inhale, hands reach back up. And hands in front of the chin. We'll do that 2 more times. Rising, reaching. Exhale behind your skull. Inhale up. Exhale in front of the chin. 1 more time, breathing up. Palms facing down behind your skull. Inhale, reach and stretch. And exhale, hands come down. Releasing the fingers down, forward and up, and then extend your palms out, leaving your fingers towards the sky. Let's take the left elbow under the right. Once you find the back or front of your palms together, carefully fold forward. You might release towards the earth. You might be floating. Move your head forward and back a few times. Feel the roundedness of the spine. Notice the stretch of your shoulders. And then with a cat-like back, rise back up, elbows reaching up and out, taking the right arm under the left, back or front of palms together, forward folding, any degree, gazing forward and then tucking your chin. Just a few times, round your spine, and draw your collarbone and sternum forward. And that cat-like back, all the way back up. Arms reach up and hands come out. From here, let's move off of our block. Setting your block off to the side, see if you can move back on your mat a little bit, and then take your feet wide on your mat. If you would like to scoot back further or move sideways on your mat, you're more than welcome to. Making sure that your heels are supported on your mat so that you don't slide, and we'll take our time. We're just going to reach our fingers forward here. And in the same way that we began our practice, just easing from side to side, forward and back, noticing any sensations. Try your best to allow your toes to remain reaching up towards the sky. Notice the intention to flex your shin bone. And again, you're just investigating sensation here. So not pushing or forcing yourself towards the earth. And at some point, you can walk your hands forward, micro bend your elbows. If available, you're more than welcome to rest your forearms fully. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. Carefully pressing into your palms, lifting yourself back up, reach your hands up overhead. Rotate your torso towards your left leg and begin to fold forward. You can rest your hands wherever they're comfortable. That might be on the shin bone, it might be physically on the mat. Again, you might rest your forearms completely. We're at the beginning of our practice, so again, please don't push or force. Just notice what's there and find your breath. And using your fingers, we'll come back to center as your arms reach back up. Take time to rotate your torso towards your right side and forward fold. Start with your fingertips, rest your palms, easing towards the earth, finding your breath. And any space that arrives, taking time to sink and soften into that space. And carefully elevate your gaze. Make your way back to center. Once you come back to center, reach your hands back up. Take your hands out to the sides. As you forward fold, you can place your hands on your shin bones. Some of you might find a peace sign finger grab to your big toes, or you might need to use your fingers or your palms. Try and keep your spine in more extension. Folding forward there, carefully. Breathing in and out. Taking 5 full breaths. Keep your shoulders broad. Think about moving from your belly, hinging from your hips. And rising back up, arms reach back up. Bring your elbows down the sides. Nice big inhale, sweep your hands forward and up. Bring your elbows down the sides. One more time, forward and up. And elbows down the sides. Carefully reach your hands forward one more time. Keep your feet active. Take a nice big breath and forward fold. Breathing in, return those arms back to the sky. Exhale, hands come out. From here, you can use your hands to micro bend your knees. And then as you bring your heels in, we'll cross our ankles. If you're sideways on your mat like me, you're just gonna rotate. We're gonna make our way to child's pose. Let's make child's pose, knees wide and heels together. Once you find that pose, keep the length of your arms and start to sway from side to side, massaging into the crease of the hip. And then settling there, let's take 5 more breaths. Elevate your gaze, walk your hands back in. From here, we're gonna take the right elbow under the left. Let your palms face upward. As you drop your elbows towards the earth, release your forehead towards the earth as well. And then elevate your gaze, bringing your arms out, rise the knees. We're gonna do the opposite. Left elbow is under right this time. Again, your palms are facing upward. As you cross the arms, relax your forehead towards the earth. And carefully make your way back. Once you make your way back, we're going to reach our hands forward. Try and bring your ankles in line with your knees. You can readjust your knees a little bit closer if you need to. And then we're just going to ease forward and back. So working from tabletop to resting your hips in between your heels. And the next time that you reach back, see if you can settle there. You might be on your palms still. Some of you might come down to your forearms. Some of you might feel comfortable enough to rest your forehead to the earth. Breathing in and out. We're settling for just 5 breaths. Elevate your head, walk your hands forward. Let's rise back to the knees, tuck your toes. We'll take our first downward facing dog. As you let your hips rise up and back, keep the extension of your arms. Try and find the crown of your head reaching forward. Tone the abdomen, feel the elevation of your armpits. Breathing for 3 full breaths. And then stepping forward with your right foot. Let's drop down to the left knee. Use your fingers here, shifting forward and back. And the next time that the knee moves beyond your ankle, reach your arms up overhead. Bring your elbows down the sides. Again, reach your arms up overhead. Elbows come down the sides. Stabilize in that right foot, reaching up. Join your palms. We'll take 3 breaths here. As you exhale, bring your hands down. Start to straighten your right leg, bowing towards your right leg. If comfortable, you're more than welcome to reach your hands back and press your palms as your forehead moves towards your right shin bone. And then elevate your gaze. We're coming back to a lunge. As you walk your fingers forward, let's step forward with the left foot. Take a little halfway. Exhale back to forward fold. Rise to standing. Join your palms, reach up. Bring your elbows down the sides. Again, join your palms, reach up. Bring your elbows down. One more time, join your palms, reach up. And bring your elbows down. Micro bend your knees. Place your fingertips, stepping back with your right foot, dropping the right knee down. Shifting forward and back. And the next time you lunge, sweep your hands up overhead. Bring the elbows down. Again, sweep your hands up. Bring the elbows down. Stabilize that left foot. Join your palms and reach. Carefully release your fingertips back to the earth, pushing off of your left foot, bowing towards your left leg, maybe reaching the hands back as you take your forehead towards your shin. And then elevate your gaze, pushing back into the left foot. Once your fingertips rest, we'll step forward to the front of the mat. Make sure your feet are hip-width distance. Clasp your elbows and sway from side to side. Start to exhale through the mouth, letting the jaw and the crown of the head feel heavy. And then reaching your elbows behind your head. Press firmly into your feet as you rise to standing. Elevate your arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive, making your way to forward fold. Stepping back with your left foot, we're going to leave our left knee elevated, rooting the left palm and taking the right hand up to the sky. Try and drop down a little deeper into your lunge, squeezing in towards the midline. Maybe elevate your gaze towards your right palm. And then bringing the right palm to the inside. We're going to drop down to the left knee. You can leave your hands on the mat here. You could shift forward to your forearms, or you can take your right arm around to the outside of your left foot as you take your forehead towards the earth. Slowly come back. As your hands return back to the inside, release your right foot back. We're pressing back for child's pose. Roll along your spine to your first upward facing dog. Elevate your hips, downward facing dog. Honoring 3 more breaths. And then carefully step forward with your left foot. Keeping your right palm planted, take your left arm to the sky. As you look up, reach up. Squeeze and hug in towards the midline. Stack your shoulders. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then carefully, left arm moves to the inside. As you drop down to the right knee, you can bring your hand behind if you want, supporting your palm, taking your forehead towards the earth. Otherwise, using your palms or your forearms, light gaze forward. And carefully returning. Once your hand comes back around, let's elevate the right heel, drop it to the instep, and then reach your hands to the front right corner of the mat. Keep your shoulders broad as you relax your head in between your shoulders. Starting to root through the outer edge of your right foot, pushing forward through your left foot. And then pushing off of the left foot, rise up for Virajasana 2, Warrior 2. Let's carry the left forearm to the left knee and take the right arm in line with your right ear. Keeping that line of energy, lift your gaze towards your palm. Continue to root through the outer edge of your right foot, lunging a little deeper into the left knee. And then we'll take our vinyasa. As your hands come down, you can pivot on your right foot, maybe sending your left leg back and lifting it to the sky, shifting forward for plank pose, lowering to the earth. Make your way to upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. We'll take 5 full breaths here. On the end of the next exhalation, step forward with your right foot. Once you step forward, drop your left heel down, reaching to the front left corner of your mat. Broaden through your shoulder blades, lunging into the right knee, rooting through the outer edge of your left foot. And pressing into the right foot, rising for Warrior 2. Once your arms are out, take that right forearm to the knee. Left hand down, reaching forward in line with your left ear, gazing up towards your left palm, maybe lunging a little deeper. Make sure you're rooting through the outer edge of your left foot, pushing forward through the right, expansive and lengthened on the left side. And we'll return, taking our vinyasa. As your hands come down, you might take your right leg to the sky. From there, floating forward for plank pose. Exhale, lower to the earth. Upward facing dog. Rolling over your toes. Downward facing dog for 5 full breaths. As you exhale, step forward with your left foot. Once you step forward with your left foot, elevate your right heel, bring it in line with your knee. Take your right hand back behind you until your right palm is in line with your right knee now. Inhale, big breath, reach your hand up to the sky, and then carry that arm down in line with your ear, finding that left side extension. Maybe lift your gaze to your left palm. Try and lunge into the left knee. And the return is bowing forward, moving back to the inside of your left foot. Step forward wide to the front of the mat. Take a halfway gaze, forward fold, rise to standing, palms together, reach up. Bring your elbows down the sides. Let's hop our feet together. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Gaze and lengthen. Stepping back with your left foot. Dropping the left knee down. Elevate your left heel. Bring your left heel over until it's in line with your left knee. Left hand reaches back until it's in line with your left knee. Right arm reaches up, lunging into the right side. Take the right hand down, in line with that right ear, and fully extend right side body. closing your pose. Bringing your left heel back in line with your left knee. Tuck your toes this time. As you reach up, we're going to take our right hand back. See if you can gaze back towards this heel, reach back to the heel, and then take your left hand up. Begin by reaching to the sky, and then rotating, pinky inward, reaching back. Turn your belly up, turn your gaze up. Try for 3 breaths. Using your left hand, come back to the inside. Step forward to the front of the mat. Halfway gaze. Forward fold. Rolling to standing, palms together, reach up. Swan dive. Once the hands come down, step back with your right foot. Drop your right knee down. Inhale, arms reach up. Make sure that your right toes are tucked. As you reach back with your left hand, we're reaching left hand to the heel. Right arm is reaching up to the sky. Rotate that pinky inward, and then reaching up and back. Take your time. Right hand back to the inside of left foot. Elevate your right knee, reach your left hand to the sky, rotate your ribcage upward, and then left peace sign fingers move down to your left big toe as you root through the outer edge of your right foot and reach your right hand to the sky. Once you have your peace sign finger grab, straighten your leg about halfway. We want to micro bend in the left knee. And then pushing off of your left leg, straighten both of your legs, gazing over to the right side, carrying that left arm over, reaching towards the right. We'll carry this back to our vinyasa. Pivot on your right foot, bring your hands down. Maybe it's a 3-legged downward facing dog, shifting forward and then lowering. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Right leg high, step forward to the front of your mat. Dropping your left heel down. Nice inhale, rising up, straighten both of your legs. Right hand reaches up and over to the left. Peace sign fingers moving to the inside of your right big toe. Left hand reaches to the sky and then stretching the right leg about halfway. Carrying your left hand back to the inside of your right foot. Pivot on your left foot, reach your right hand to the sky. And we'll take our vinyasa. Hand comes down, right foot maybe reaches up and back. Shifting forward for plank, lower. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Start to pedal out your knees a little bit. Feel the rootedness of your palms. You can move your head forward and back. Shift your hips from side to side. And as you shift your hips from side to side, you can gaze under one arm and then the other. And then we're going to bring our left knee forward. And bring the right knee forward, crossing the shin bones. Once you cross your shin bones, come down to your forearms and rest your forehead. Rising back to your palms, uncross and recross, hinging back, taking your forehead towards the earth. Rising back up, uncross, press back for child's pose. And then looking forward, notice your forearms. Make a fist with your right hand, wrap your left hand around that, shift your weight towards your fists, tuck your toes, reach your hips up and back, gazing towards your shins or your navel for dolphin. Breathing here, use the forearms, use the shoulders. If comfortable, elevate your right leg. Toes in towards your shin bone. Take 3 breaths. And then dropping the right foot down, dropping down to the knees. Reset by gazing forward and stretching back for child's pose. Switch out your hands. Left hand is now making a fist. Right hand is wrapped around. Rising to the forearms. Take your gaze beyond your thumbs. Tuck your toes. Gazing back towards your knees, elevate your hips. Breathing here for 3 breaths. Or elevating your left leg, breathing 3 breaths. Releasing your left foot down, gazing forward, drop back down to the knees. Release your hands, arms in length, child's pose. Rolling forward to upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, reaching up and back for downward facing dog. Step your feet behind your hands so they're wide. Taking a halfway gaze. Exhale, bend your knees, reaching forward for Malasana. Try and bring your palms together. Press your forearms and your biceps into your shin bones. Interlacing your fingers, reach forward, elevate, release your hands out to the sides. Let's hop our feet together. Once you hop your feet together, start to bend your left knee, elevate your left knee, placing your foot inside your shin bone or above your knee, just not on your knee. Taking time to make your way into your variation of tree pose. If comfortable, maybe reach. Maybe some kind of open expression, arms out. Trying your best to open your left hip while rising from the inseam of the right leg. Bringing the hands back together before your heart. Knee comes back to center. Release your foot to the earth. Let's move right into the other side. Shifting your weight into your left foot. Elevate your right knee. Placing your foot on your shin bone or elevating above your knee as you root your heel. Open up your right hip. Find your standing leg supporting you. Some kind of expression. Reaching, opening, or offering. And very carefully, your hands come back. Your knee comes back. Release your foot. Let's take a vinyasa. Arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Gaze and lengthen. Stepping back for plank. Lower to the earth. Upward facing dog. Final downward facing dog. Let's take 5 full breaths. And either walking, stepping, or jumping behind your hands. We're going to have a seat. Once you have a seat, extend your legs as wide as your mat. Take a nice big breath, reaching the arms forward and up. And then forward folding, clasping your ankles, maybe the sides of your feet, or resting your hands forward as you forward fold. Carefully elevate your gaze, reach your hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands out. We're going to bring the bottom of our feet together, allowing the knees to rest outward. Same thing, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. And nice big inhale. We'll come back to center, reaching the hands up overhead. Use your hands to bring your knees back. We're going to extend our right leg out. As you bring your left heel in, you're going to place your right elbow underneath your heel. Facing your palm up, you can use both hands if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to take our left hand up, bring it over to the side, and come back to cuffing like we started as you gaze to your left. Releasing your left hand if you're doing that cuff. Bring your hand back underneath. Shine your palms towards your face for 3 more breaths. Flex your toes in towards your shin. And then release your leg out, back to the earth. Take a nice big breath, reach up. Let's roll to the back. Interlace your fingers and stretch your spine. Feel the rise and fall of your rib cage. Interlace fingers, reach towards your toes, rising back up. Nice inhale, reach your hands. Exhale, hands out to the sides. This time, pull your right ankle in, placing your hands underneath, making a decision whether or not you can support with just left hand. If so, reach your right hand up, bring that around. As you cuff, gaze to the right side. If you are cuffing your hands, return your right arm underneath, shine your palms, pull your leg in a little bit more. We'll take 3 final breaths. And carefully release, right leg out. Let's move back to that full body stretch. Arms and legs reaching as you bring curvature to your spine. Exhale, rooting your low back. Try 2 more times. Inhale. Exhaling. Again, inhale. And exhale. Step your feet to the earth. Bring your hands out to the sides. And rock your knees from side to side. Placing your left ankle over your right knee, tip yourself over to the right side, allowing your left foot to root to the earth. If you're comfortable, take your right hand to your ankle and work on opening that left hip. Gazing over to the right side, use your hands to help yourself up. And from there, we're going to fold forward to the inside of our left foot. And as we did our lizard lunge before, if you're comfortable, you can reach your hands out and take your forehead towards the earth. Slowly return, unwind. We'll roll back to our back. Stretch your legs out for full body stretch. Everything reaching. Once your feet come to the ground, you can rock your knees from side to side, arms out to a T. And carefully cross your right ankle over your left knee as you tip yourself over to the left side. Again, you're more than welcome to use your left hand to clasp your right ankle, drawing the right knee towards the sky, opening the right hip, breathing in and out. And gazing over to your left side, use your right hand, trying to help yourself up. We're folding to the inside of that right foot. And if that feels comfortable enough to you, you can take your hands out and bring your forehead towards the earth. Slow return. Roll to your back. Stretch your legs out. Full body stretch. Everything reaching. And then pull your knees in, keeping the knees wide. Rock from side to side, around in circles. Hugging the knees in. If you would like to reach to the inside and clasp your big toes, taking your feet to the sky as your knees reach towards the sides of the body, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, just holding behind the knees or on the knees. Try and root along your spine, regardless of your hand variation. Try and allow your sacrum to be level to the earth. So if you feel that your tailbone is lifted, try and roll back towards the earth a little bit. And then release, bringing your feet together, reaching with your arms, shifting from side to side a little bit more. As your arms move out to the sides, take your feet a little bit wider and shift from side to side. And at this point, if you don't have a block next to you, you can cross your ankles, roll up to seated, and find your block. And then returning to your back. We're going to place the block underneath our sacrum. You can choose your level today. So you might be on the lowest level, you might be on the mid level, or you might elevate the block on the narrow end. Walking the toes in a little bit closer, root your heels fully to the earth. Make sure that your feet are parallel to each other. If anything, the big toes are slightly inward. When you're ready, pressing into your feet, as you elevate your hips, place your block and rest. Make sure that your feet are rooted firmly to the earth. Make sure that the block is fully supporting your sacrum in balance. You can walk your shoulder blades in slightly. And then focus on the rise and fall of your lungs. If you would like to extend one or both legs out, you're also more than welcome to do that. If your legs are extended, please walk them back, moving a little bit from side to side, whichever level that you're on. And then carefully bring yourself back to the earth. And once you come back down to the earth, root completely into your low back. Placing your block to the side, you're more than welcome to elevate your skull if you would like some elevation. But make sure that your low back is rooted. Taking 3 or 4 breaths here. And then deciding what final rest looks like for you this evening. You might stay with your feet planted, allowing the knees to drop in. You might extend your legs outward or take butterfly. Find something that comforts you, that allows you to be fully engaged in the moment, but still and calm. Simply honoring the aliveness within. That precious gift that is you. Begin to awaken. Inviting your feet back to the earth. And rocking from side to side. Pulling the knees in and rocking from side to side. And choosing to roll to whichever side is suitable. Making your way up to some kind of seated pose. And as you arrive, bow to that internal space. And thank yourself for the generous, kind nature. Honoring the connectedness to all beings and all things. I thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.